Okay,
Yes, sir.
so let's start our lesson. We'll have a new lesson. Continuation gihapon siya sa appreciation of numbers. But before that, can I ask someone to give a short recap about our previous lesson? What have you learned from our previous discussion?
Abiotic and biotic one, sir.
Hala ka, unsa na siya nga lesson? Murag lahi na siya nga lesson imong naapilan.
Good afternoon,
Unsa-
sir.
let's have Marlon. Marlon, what have you learned?
I have learned, sir, na about sa system number na to dre, sir, sa kuan ma-apply po na to in real life like mga whole number,
Very good.
then integers.
So naka-flash na ha? I don't know kung nakita na ba ninyo. Naka-flash na diha.
Thanks,
That
sir.
was our
Thanks, sir.
previous. Very good, Marlon. So you mentioned whole numbers, integers, and there are still a lot of other classifications of numbers. Pero generally, mo ni siya ang dagway. Connected magud sila, di ba? Na ay mga kuan nga paryente ra dai sila. So mura siya family tree, just like ang rational numbers, daghan dai siya og mga paryente. Ang kauban niya kay fractions ug integers. Na kaning integers, siya dai ang grupo sa mga whole numbers, negative numbers, even zero apil dito, and rational and natural numbers rather. And then apo ta ginatawag og irrational numbers katong dili ma convert as a ratio, and all of these numbers are called the real numbers. So ang pinakababa mo tong pinakagamay, and then how as you go higher mo to siya ang mas daghan og mga kagrupo, mo to siya ang mas daghan or mas dako siya og scope. So ana ang iyahang dagan sa number system nato. So clear na ba? Kasabot na ba tatanan sa number system? Because this will be part of your examination.
Yes, sir.
Sabot na, sir.
Okay, let me check kung kasabot ba dyan. We will have a short exercise. This will be part also of the oral recitation. I will be calling students randomly. So katong matawag lang, maswertihan nga matawagan, mora po to ang pwede mag-answer ha para dili magyagaw. So I will be flashing mga statements diri, then you have to identify if this is true or false. The statement is true ba siya or false. Let's start with the number one. Every whole number is an integer. Or sa Bisaya pa, ang mga whole numbers ba, tanan whole number, integer. True or false? Maghatawag yun sa examination ninyo. Manay statement about number system, then you have to identify if it is true or false. So since wala man nag-raise og hand, I will be calling randomly. Let's have Ezekiel.
No, sir.
What is your answer
Yes,
for
sir.
number one? Is the, uy mali, na ba yes nga choice? Duwa ang choices ani true or false?
I am sorry,
Every
sir.
whole number, ang mga whole number ba daw kada isa sa ilaha, o silang tanan, integer. True or false?
False, sir. Para sa ako.
Okay, para sa imuha false, let's reveal. Do you agree?
Yes,
Balik ko
sir.
na to. Every whole number is an integer. Kaning sila daw tanan, integer. Tama man, di ba? So this is,
False.
oops.
True.
Okay, nga nung nag-false man mo. Di ba ang mga
Ay,
whole number kay 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So silang tanan, under ba sila sa integer. So there's nothing wrong with the statement. Nasabtan ninyo. So, di ba na nagsulti mo nga na gets ninyo pero sa first pa lang na sentence na libog na. So don't forget that ha, basig mo gawas na siya sa sa examination. Pwede niyo siya i-take note.
Thank you,
Next,
sir.
you're welcome. So
Yeah,
thank you, Ezekiel. Let's have number 2. Every integer is a whole number. Let's have, wala nag-raise og hand. I still have to. Yes, Valiente, the first one. Ang first nga,
one, sir.
makita na ako.
Every integer is a whole number kay false, sir.
Very good.
Kay
Ngano
kwan,
ganit
sir.
false di siya? Can you explain? Your answer is correct, Valiente. You have additional points. Why? Why false?
Panalitan, sir. For example, ay kwan, sir, kining tawag aning
Nagkatawag integer, just like mga negative numbers.
Negative 5 sir is an integer but dili siya whole number sir.
Very
Or
good.
dili siya natural number sir.
That is a good logic or reasoning for this. I hope nasabtan po to sa imong mga classmates. How about the others? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hindi mo,
sir. Yes, sir.
Very
hindi mo,
good.
sir.
Ang uban kay nag ano pa siguro no loading or nag-absorb pa. Pero inyuhan na lang siyang i-translate na lang good in your own language para mas masabtan ninyo. Ang integer kung tan-awon nimo diri sa ato ang system, ibabaw baya siya. Tapos ang gisulti diri kay every integer is a whole number. Dili pwede kay ang whole number kay mas gamay raman siya compare sa integer. Nakuha ninyo?
Yes sir.
Number two, every integer is a whole number. No, nga naman, ang integer daghan kay ni siya, apil pa sa iya ang negative. So, dili matawag og whole number to sila. So, dili tanan integer, whole number.
Number. Kaya
At
ang zero
least,
wala may sign zero.
ang zero is walay sign, walay problema, kay whole number man to siya. How about katong mga negative integers? Integers to sila, but they are not whole numbers. So, this statement is false. Let's have the third one, kay para ma-exercise pa yun ang ato ang comprehension. Every integer is a rational number. Pwede na pwede mo balikan tong number system, i-recall ni mo, tama ba ni nga? Ang mga integer, tanan integer, rational number ni sila. Do what? Si Kurt.
Those
Kurt, duhala ang choices, Kurt, true or false. Walay mga no nga answer, walay maybe, wala po yes, true or false.
True, true, sir.
True. Every integer is a rational number. Let's see. Very good. Ngano man?
Na, kuan man siya, sir. Naman ang rational number, sir, kaya naman siya sa ibabaw because sa katong ipakita nimo ganina, sir.
Very good. So dito pala na makita nimo di ba nga under ni sila tanan sa rational number. So that is
Yes,
how
sir.
you interpret the graphic organizer. Let's proceed to the next item, number 4. Every real number is a rational number. Wala na akong nakita kasi nag-raise of hand. Kaya gibasa na ako ang slide. Again, raise again your hand. Pinakamauna. For the recitation, every real number is a rational number. Wala mo answer. Kuwabo.
False, sir.
Okay. Why? Your answer is correct.
Kay... Wait lang, sir.
Every real number is a rational number. This is false. That's correct. It's because
Ay, mas kuan man, sir. Naguna ang real number sa rational number, sir.
taas siya, di ba? So,
Yes, sir.
nadiri ang real number, nadiri ang rational number. So, mali ang
Opo,
statement. Dapat, every rational number is a real number.
Opo, sir.
mas
Dapat,
taas
sir.
yan. Very good. Congratulations for
Sir.
getting the correct answer. Let's have number 5. Number 5 is every real number is an irrational number. Is this true or false? Richard Descaliar.
Every real number is an irrational number. Paano, sir? True?
3, 2, 1. Time is up. Your answer is true. Do you agree?
No
True.
sir.
Every real number is an irrational number.
No sir.
That is false. Di ba kay kung balikan na po ninyo, I hope na may copy
Ano?
o nakita ninyo, ma-recall ninyo sa inyong mind. Ang katuganing kuan, number system. Sorry, Jeric, no, kay nagputol-putol daw sa iya ha. I hope klaro ko sa others. Maklaro ba ko?
Okay, sir.
Every real number is an irrational number is not a true statement. Ngano man? Kay ang real number, naabay siya sa taas.
Yes, sir.
Ang
Baliktad
irrational
dapat.
number nasa baba. So every real number, ang real number kinamay rational ay irrational.
Baliktad.
So
Ito, sir.
dili
Baliktad.
mo classify nga irrational sila tanan. Kaya
Every
again,
irrational
real
numbers.
numbers can be rational and irrational. So this statement is false. Pero kung atong i-twist ang statement, imo ato siyang every
Every
irrational
irrational
number
number
is
is an real number.
di ba, Valiente? So that will become true.
Yes, sir.
I hope you got the correct answer for that. Let's have number 6. Still have more. We'll answer that one. Every irrational number is a real number. Emmanuel Alburo.
No, sir. Ah, yes, day, sir.
Wala din sa choices ang no o yes. Emmanuel, tanawa ang instruction true or false sila
Sorry, sir.
ta.
Sorry, sir. Every irrational
Basaha ang
number
instructions.
is a real number. Ikaw, sir.
True or false? Dili yes or no.
True, sir.
Do you agree?
Right?
Every
Every
irrational
irrational
number
number.
is a
Ay,
real
no. False,
number?
sir.
Hala,
False.
hala, hala.
False.
Sayang nga, oy. True
Ano?
unta. Tama unta ka. Change man mo imong answer.
Sir, dili ko kayo madungog, sir. Kay mawala-wala mong wifi,
Ah,
sir.
so the correct answer is
Sorry, sir.
true.
True. True,
So
sir.
I will take your first answer kay para tama si Alburo. Nganong true man ni siya? Kay tama tong gi-mention, gibaliktad man gud to ang kato ganina nga statement ni every real number is irrational. Kani siya every irrational number is a real number. Kay naa man ang real number sa taas, so sakop niya tanan irrational number. So tanan irrational number, they are considered real
Real
numbers.
number.
That makes it true. Nagets ninyo?
Sir, kay wala may negative. Sir. Pero sa natural number, sir.
Saan na to siya? Number 7. The abay. 0 is a whole number. True or false?
True, sir.
Very good. So wala na kailangan siguro debatihan rin, no? That is true. Correct, abay. Next one. Number 8. That statement. Pi is a rational number. Markaon. Markaon, are you there? Hala, wala.
Sir,
Markaon, yes. True or false?
I
Pi
think
is a rational number.
true, sir. True.
Ang sige, value sa pi, gani,
Square root.
yun, palihog ang katong wala nag-ano. Thank you so much. O sa gani, value sa pi,
3.410, sir.
ma-convert ba siya in ratio? Ma-convert siya sa ratio of two numbers? Mahimo ba siyang fraction?
Dili, sir.
No, sir.
So that's why it's false. False dapat. So markaon, the correct answer for number 8 is false because pi is actually an irrational number. That is the most common example of an irrational number. How about number 9? Every fraction is an integer. Estrella.
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Dili ko putol-putol, sir.
Sir. Dili. Ayaw nagkabala ka. Answer na diretsyo. Manunggan ka na mo.
Sige, sir.
True or false?
False, sir.
Okay. Nganong false man? Your answer is correct.
Sige.
Every
Integer man, sir.
fraction is dili siya integer ang fraction kay ang integer wala siya'y part, wala siya'y bunking. So that's why every fraction is an integer is not a true statement, it's a false
Dili
statement.
siya real number, sir.
Very good. Now let's have number 10. This is the last one and this will be for K. Manam si K, no? Markaon kisa pa. Nimis, Miss Nimis.
True, sir.
A fraction is an irrational number. Do you think it's true?
False, sir.
Na-under
False.
ba ang diba? Na-under ba ang fraction sa irrational number dito sa iyahang number system?
No,
If
sir.
fraction is an irrational number, the correct answer is false. It's not a true statement. So Nimis, you change your answer into false, no? So that's
Yes, sir.
correct.
Hindi ma-repeat yung digit. So,
So na-gets ninyo?
yes, sir.
So i-review, actually ma-upload mo na siya sa
Sir.
paper. You can actually review all of these mga examples kay para during sa atong examination na namoy clearer understanding og kanang analysis about the statements. Inyo namang i-review ang number system ato tapos inyong i-comprehend og tarong para tama inyong pagsabot sa statement. So that ends our review for the number system, but we are not yet done with this chapter about appreciation of numbers. Aside from the different classifications of numbers, we also have the different scales of measurement. And we only have four scales, namely the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Do you have any idea about the four scales so far? Siguro in your high school, you have discussed all of these things. Kisa diri ang nanay idea
Ratio lang, sir.
about the
Nakalimutan.
ratio. Marlon, ratio, common siguro ratio and proportion. Pero I think that is another topic in elementary. That is also another term that we can give to a scale of data or measurement. Aside kay Marlon, kisa pa ang idea diri about nominal or nakaagi na about ordinal, interval, and ratio scale.
Kanang nominal sir kay categorical na sir.
Very good. Kisa to si Marlon Gapon.
Valiente sir, valiente.
Valiente, Valiente. Yes, very good. So let's start with that. So actually, upat ni sila kabuok. Then naa sila levels of measurement. So kaning parehas og colors, at the bottom, we have the nominal data and the ordinal data. They are qualitative in nature. So tama itong gi-mention ganina, these are not numbers. Kay quality man siya, qualitative. So pwede siya category ang ihatag. Just like what Mr. Valiente mentioned. That's nominal and ordinal, and we will see the difference between the two. The other two classifications or levels of measurement are interval and ratio, and these are all under the quantitative data. So from the word quantity, number na ni siya. So dili ka pwede maghatag og value nga mga numero. While katong sa baba, katong silang duha, dili siya necessary number ay mong ihatag. Kay dili man siya quantitative. So at that point, na mo yung idea about the four. So let's start with the nominal scale. Kindly read the definition. Yes, Valiente.
Nominal scale is used for labeling variables into distinct classifications and does not involve quantitative value or order.
Very good. So say pasabot ana, does not involve quantitative value or order. Label daw siya variables. So let's have the example para mas masabta na to. If you are asked, what is your gender? Maghatag ba ka number ng answer? 100. Ang uban kay 200 ang ihatag, uban 300. Di ba dili siya quantitative? You only have the options male or female. So category siya, quality. That is an example of nominal scale. Gender. How about your address or where? What is the location or the area where you live? Are you living in the city, in the town, in the urban area, rural area, suburb, so on. So these are examples of nominal. Kay dili makamaghatag og answer nga numero. I-classify man jud mo yung mga answer. So these are more on descriptions. Another one is the brand of your cell phone. So what are the possible answers? You can have Apple, Samsung, Huawei, Vivo, etc. So these are not numbers. These are categories or descriptions. So that is why it is under the nominal scale. Nasabtan ba?
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
So for my next question, since naghatag naman ko 3 examples, I would like to ask someone to give me a unique example. Kung wala pa na-mention dire, under the nominal scale. This is for the recitation. Anyone? Any idea? Nico Simini.
Answer. Motor brand sa kotse sir.
The brand of the cars. What are the possible answers or the brands of the car?
Answer bale Mustang,
Hmm.
Ferrari, Toyota.
At least 3, okay na siya. And so on.
Thank you sir.
Thank you. We have Montuya.
Ano
Go ahead.
sir, like what is your favorite fruits, drinks?
Favorite fruit? We have apple, we have bananas, grapes. Very good, Kyla. How about alburo? So that was Montuya.
Kuan sir kanang mangutana ka sir na unsa ang specification anang motor, unsa ang
No.
mga
Sige daw. Sige,
ng
sige.
motor.
Hindi ko how ano. Ito yung mga possible answers ana if you will be asking. Siguro
Kuan
mato
sir,
sa
like
isa ka ano.
sir, sa mga motor sir, namon ko
Motor
yung mga
shop.
motor sir nga fuel injection, napoy uban nga carb type, ingana ka nang sa fuel injection sir kay murag less ka og gasolina like kinakuan
Mm.
kanila sir, gina-demo kanila para ing maingganyo kato na motor.
So murag
Kay
duha lang
ingana,
sa klase katong sa itong
oh,
i-inject and then the
carb
other one
type, carb
carbo
type and
ay carb ay lagi pa ng
carburetor
carbo.
type,
Yeah, okay.
carburetor type tapos fuel
Very
injection
good.
nga type of the motor.
Thank you so much for educating us about that, Mr. Alburo. That is a good answer. How about Libed?
Shopping mall, sir.
Wow, that's a good answer. So you can have NCCC kung sa Tagum lang ka, Kaisano Grand, you have Kaisano, Robinsons. So far, mapato ang City Mall and so on. Thank you. Ang dili matawag din kay daghan mo kay raise og hand and we cannot accommodate everyone since we are dealing with our time kay napatay upa tulo pa ang atong i-discuss. I-message gihapon ninyo sa Quipper message ha. Katugan ning gusto mag-send dito. You are free to share, to interact dito kay ang mga wala nato na entertain diri nga mga answers. Pwede man dito nato ipadayon sa Quipper messages and you will still be credited with additional points for your participation dito. So kato mga wala tawag diri, ayo na mo ka worry kay naman gapon tay option sa Quipper. Klaro ba? So I will call the last two students for this particular examples. Venus,
Kuan sir, color sir.
color. So
Example
what,
orange,
how about you? What is your
white.
favorite color?
Kuan sir, sa blue, violet sir.
Blue and violet. That is a good example. How about Kansiko, the last one? Kansiko, i-type ra nimo mo answer.
Sir, madunggan ako, sir.
Yes, so yes, we can hear you. What is your example? That will be our last example for the first classification, nominal scale. Category siya dapat, hindi siya number
Shirt,
ang
sir,
answer.
brand, sir.
Again, that's it. That is
Sa t-shirt, sir.
t-shirt. Brand of
T-shirt
t-shirt.
brand, sir.
Okay. Give me examples of the answers. Sige daw, mga three lang kabuok.
BNY, Lee. BNY, Lee, sir. BUM.
Bench or okay, very good. That is a good example. So nasabtan ninyo ang nominal. Sa'yo naman ang nominal.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, daghang examples. Thank you so much. Pwede na i-off ang inyong mga microphones. Nominal scale, again, these are categories. These are qualitative. How about ordinal? The ordinal, I will just read, is used to depict the order of the variables. So nahay order because ordinal is from the word order and not the difference between the variables. So wala dyan siya ka ng lagyo nga difference. Unlike atong gi-mention ganina nga, lahi ang BNY, lahi pud ang kanang Lee, lahi pud ni siya nga brand. So there is depiction of the different brands. Pero there is ordinal scale, even though qualitative gapon siya. Pero naalang kay ginagmay nga difference kay imo man siyang gi-order. This is used to depict non-mathematical ideas such as frequency, kapila ka mo check sa imong Kuiper in one day. So, naka-different options. Siguro 5 times ang pinakadaghan. Na 4 times, na 3, 2, 1. So, na level. So, na siya order. So, that is ordinal scale. Another one is satisfaction. The level of satisfaction. Very satisfied, not so satisfied, and so on. So, nagapon kay level. So, that is an example of ordinal scale. Degree of pain, katong mga nasakitan, unsa mga different degrees of pain, very painful, uban kay dili kayo painful, o uban kay average lang. So we are dealing with different levels or order, so that's ordinal scale. As well as the level of happiness. So what are the examples of these? So these are some of the questions. Kung gipangutana mo, siguro in your research, how satisfied are you with our services? So for example, ang mong services sa enrollment, what will be your answer? Are you satisfied, very satisfied, unsatisfied, neutral?
Satisfied sir.
Very good answer. We have satisfied. Ang uban kay naka-experience og away during enrollment sa linya, so they will answer unsatisfied or ang uban kay wala na accommodate, very unsatisfied. So that is an example of ordinal scale. Kung ang answer nimo is nag-involve na siya og different levels, you have to choose from what particular level. So ordinal na ang tawag sa iyaha. So another example is how often do you read your book? Is it always, sometimes, rarely, or never?
Never.
Really,
Mga
sir.
non-readers jud na diri no kay never jud kay mahilig lang ni sila og tula og ML siguro so never. So that is an
Sometimes
example
lang, sir.
of ordinal
Paganahan.
scale. But kay sometimes lang po depende po sa libro.
Hindi
So
sa
the
mood,
point
sir.
is or mood depende. So the point is inana ang dagan sa ordinal scale. Another example is what is your social status? Di ba do you belong sa average
Single.
level, below average, or are you part of the population nga dito mo sa very rich, very well off na families? So nakita ninyo na yung mga leveling. So that is an example of ordinal scale. Now, who can give me another example? Kahetas.
Sir, kaning sa relationship, sir. Single,
Ang relationship.
relationship,
Okay.
single, married,
Pwede na to siya ibutang as sa
interval.
pwede na to i-level siya, i-ordinal
Ah,
kung level 1 single, level 2, pero murag sa may level 3 ana. Murag isod siya i-level no, level 1 single, level 2 married, level 3 nag-divorce na mo, murag lain pod. So it may not be ordinal o sa ang much better sa iyang classification. Ang katong
First,
isulti niya
second, third. First, second, third, fourth, sir. Ana.
first, second, third, fourth. Kasi ito imo ang answer kay kahetas.
sir, kaning relationship status.
Relationship status, na mag widowed, ay mga inana. So, mo to sila mabilong. So, na po discrimination. So, I think
Ah,
that is better
sa interval.
classified under,
Interval, sir.
wala pa nato naman siya ng interval. Yung interval kay quanti na ba yan na?
Ay, nominal, sir.
Nominal.
Nominal.
Mas better siya ibutang sa nominal. That is a good answer kahit as under nominal. So, thank you. Naghapon kay points for giving an example pero under nominal. Let's
Yes, sir.
try si Libed. Ordinal ho, pinakahatag og correct answer. Example sa ordinal.
Ano sir, Olympics ranking like gold,
Very good.
silver, and bronze.
That is a very good answer, Mr. Libed. So, levels of winnings or levels of ranking
Yes
or
sir.
the medal tally for the Olympics, gold, silver, and bronze. So we are dealing with levels that is ordinal scale. Let's have the last two from Labajo and then Albansis. Labajo?
Yes sir, yes sir. Ang ako sir kay kuan sir kanang sa gikan sa pag-eskwela sir kanang grade 1, grade 2, grade 3
Very
level up.
good. Grade level, di ba? Grade 1, mo choose ka grade 2, grade 3.
Yes sir.
Or sa K to 12 pa, kinder, grade 1, grade 2, grade 11, grade 12. Karon, first year, second year, third year. Labaho, you got a very good example. Thank you.
sir.
Last one is Albansis. The others, pwede mo mag-chat sa message sa Quiper. Kung gusto mo maghatag answer dito, I will read.
Kuan sir, ML player ranking sir. Level 1 to level
Wait
2,
ko ang
level 3
answer.
sir.
So, nag-wait ko ng answer. Actually, kaysa other subject ako, mapuna ang pinakauna nga gihatag nga example. ML nga ranking daw. So, say, can you tell me, di mo ko nagadula og ML, ano sa mga ranking?
Ang ranking sir kay kuan Warrior, Elite, Master, Grandmaster, Epic, Legend og Mythical Glory sir.
Yeah, ikaw, ang
Glory,
level.
naguro pa di ba?
Mythic na sir. Mythic
Wow,
sir.
congratulations. I hope imong level po diri sa atong klase. Anak po. Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Kaapay, your answer, socioeconomic status, is also taken and that was also mentioned a while ago. So thank you for your answer. So naklaro na sabta na nato no ang duha ka buok, first two. The nominal and the ordinal. Nasabta na?
Yes, sir.
Those are qualitative. Now let's proceed to the next one, interval. Kaning interval, this is already under the quantitative na siya nga scale. This refers not only to classifications and ordering of the measurements, but it also specifies the distances between each value on the scale, which are equal. So para mas masabta nato, we have more definitions of interval scales. The distances between each value in the interval are equal, and there is no true zero point or fixed beginning. So kaning last statement, importante ni siya, kay mo man guni siya ang nag-set og difference sa interval scale and katong last nga scale nga ratio scale kay silang duha lang man ang numbers. Silang duha lang man ang quantitative. So ang pasabot aning there is no true zero point is sa interval scale kung maghatag answer, pwede ka maghatag og answer nga mas gamay pa sa zero. Or pwede nga ang answer nimo dili possible maghatag og zero. So ang zero, ang existence sa zero diri sa interval scale is not absolute, unlike sa ratio scale. Okay, para masabta nato, let's have these examples. Kaning mga temperature, for example. Temperature is an example of an interval data. It's because 0 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Fahrenheit is not the smallest value that you can give. Kaya na may mga lugar nga mga bugnaw kaayo, di ba? So, unsa na may mga temperature karon sa Alaska, for example, sa North Pole. 0 pa ba? Or mag-negative na?
Negative, sir.
Negative na, sir.
Negative, sir.
So kung ang answer nimo is nag-go beyond 0 na ka, mas maba pa sa 0, so ang iyang classification is interval data. Na-gets ninyo?
Why, sir?
Sir.
Okay. Slide, second example. IQ test score. Kisa diri ang naka-take na og IQ test. O sa inyohang IQ. Wala pa siguro, no? Sa IQ test, wala score nga 0. Wala may IQ test nga score nga 0. Ang pinaka-lowest ani is 70. So since 0 is not the lowest number that you can give, that is why the IT test score is considered as interval scale. Other psychological tests, ng mga scores na wala na-exist ang 0, under siya sa interval scale. Just like number 3, this is the Beck inventory test score. This is a test to check the level of depression of a particular person. So since wala 0 diri nga score, this is under interval scale gyapon. How about number 4, ang calendar years? Ganun na-appeal man siya sa interval data. Ang calendar years, naabay mo go beyond pa sa 0?
Wala na, sir.
Na.
sir.
Before ang year 1, unsa man, di ba namatay BC? Di ba
Yes,
before
sir.
2021 man ta karon, di ba? So kung i-rewind na to ang years, sa 1 ba ta nagsugod? Year 1, 2, 3, hangtod na 2021? Or naapay beyond ana?
Napay beyond, sir.
Naapay
No,
BC,
sir.
di ba? Di ba naapay 300
Mobile
BC,
sir.
before Christ?
Obedience.
O katong mga BC, kato siya, beyond to siya sa 0, wala pa nahitabo. So that is why ang calendar years is an example of interval data kay ang 0 is not the absolute. 0 is not the starting point. So that is the characteristic of the interval data. Wala siya nagsugod sa 0. Temperature, pwede ka mag-negative. So dili ka magsugod all the time sa 0. IQ test score, wala score nga 0. Sa Beck inventory test score, wala score nga 0. Calendar years, dili ka sa 0 magsugod ka na ay BC. So these are examples of interval data. Para i-compare ni nato siya. Again?
Sir,
Sa
wala,
to?
sir.
Para ma-compare na to sa ratio scale, ang ratio scale, ang last classification, this is under the quantitative gihapon, and this is the most common. Kaya daghan ta mahatag nga example ani. Kani siya, nanay fixed. value ang zero. This is the absolute value. This is the beginning point. Definitive na siya ang iyahang value. That is the ratio scale. Example ani is income. Nabay income nga negative? Or naabay income nga mubaba pa sa zero? Wala na. So
Sir.
since zero is the starting point, so income is considered as ratio data. So again, the data has order, the differences are meaningful. There is an absolute zero because zero is the lowest score that you can give, and it can be calculated also. So mo na siya ang other characteristics sa ratio data nga wala dito sa interval data. Other examples of ratio data, weight. Diba weight is pataas man dyan imong ihatag, di ba dyan ka pwede mag-negative, ana? As well as your height,
Yes, sir.
the income. How about the number of children? Pila ka buok ang children sa inyong balay? Kan makahatag ba ka og mga beyond?
Zero.
Pwede pa zero, di ba? So that is the meaning of ratio data.
Age, sir.
Well, this is now your time to give your own example. Nasabtan ba ninyo ang ratio data? Let's have, okay, balik-balik na no, albansis.
Gas station, sir.
Again,
Gas station, sir.
gas,
Gas station.
Nganong mahimo mga ratio data ang gas station?
Dili maka makakuan, sir. Di ka katubil og kuan, sir. Tubil, sir, kung mag og dili mag-gold zero, sir.
Okay,
Katubil, di ba, sir?
i-improve na to ang answer ni Albansis sa kung gas station man good, ang choices kay Petron, Shell, Caltex. So mahulog siya under nominal. So ang iyahang determine man good is the number of liters nga imong i-load.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if that is now the case, tama na siya, mahimo siyang ratio. So the number of liters loaded sa imong vehicle is an example of ratio data kay. Alangan mo, atura ka dito og magpahangin ra. So naman dyan na ibutang, di ba? So to start from zero and then pataas. So klaro na to, Albansis.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let's have pasaol. Si Kin.
Age, sir. Or
Very
edad.
good. Age. The age is usually in years na siya, di ba? So pataas dyan na siya. Then wala man po yung age diri nga negative. Pataas man siya. So that is correct. Thank you, Pasaol. Nabalik-balik na mga pangalan, no? So I will call katong mga wala pa kaayo recitation. Borinaga.
Hello, sir. Dungo ganun, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Kan, sir? Day, sir.
Sabot. Say pasabot.
Day or, kan? Day or years?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Siya, ano?
Years po, sir.
So, saan nga day? Number of days?
1, 2. Sa calendar, sir.
Calendar days. Para.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
It's okay. Kaya kung days lang imong ibutang, days in a week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so mahimo na siyang nominal, di ba? So if you will
Yes,
have
sir.
the number of days in a month, pwede, or the calendar days, that is correct, Borinaga. Thank you. Let's have Kilantang. For your recitation, Kilantang.
Sir, price sa imong paliton, sir.
Just like the price of sa may mga basic karon rice, di ba? Very good.
Rice, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kilantang. I will call two more. Parba.
Sa sakinan, sir.
Musende ang last. Parba.
Sa sakinan, sir, katong ilang speedometer, sir.
The speed. The
Sir.
speed of...
Pwede sa sakinan, sir.
Okay. Pwede ka mag-start sa zero, pataas. Very good, Parba. Thank you.
Ako, sir. Ako, sir.
Monsende
Ako,
ang
sir.
last.
Ako, sir.
Naman si Mosende.
Ako, sir. Ako, sir.
Okay, kung wala si Mosende, then I will call Mones.
Okay, sir. Ako, sir, example is kanang every athlete, sir, is for example, athletics, sir. So magamit sila og timer para makabalo sila sa unsa ka kusog or unsa kahinay ang sa ilang dagan, sir. So magamit sila timer.
Timer, very good ang
Opo.
timer. Especially kung naa sa Olympics, no, lumbaanig
Opo.
dagan, ana,
Opo, sir.
timer or the time spent in doing a task.
Yes po.
Time is an example of ratio. Mones, Marlow, habli ka Mones din, no? So that is Marlow. And then I
Marlow.
have also read the answer of Musende, distance. That is also correct, Musende. Oh, ang uban kay pwede na mo mag-answer sa Kuiper messages para mabasa o ma-acknowledge na kung ano yung mga answers. So let's have another slide for this. Ratio data takes zeros as the lowest absolute beginning or value. Unlike sa interval again, ang interval quantitative siya pero ang zero again is dili siya absolute kay dili man siya ang sinugdanan. Ratio scale cannot take negative values. Negative values can be part of interval scale. So naklaro na ninyo, ang numbers again, we have ratio and interval. Ang kato mga dili numbers, mga categories, nominal and ordinal. Klaro na? So these are the key points para clear na siya. We will have a short check-up after this. I-check natin yung comprehension. So review, nominal scale again, these are categories, classifications, labels, and even answers to questions yes or no, true or false. Kung dili siya number ang imong answer, then these are under the nominal scale. For the ordinal scale, we have the orders, the ranks, the levels. Examples are the social classes na mentioned kanina. Basta na ay different levels ng imong pagpilian as your answer, that is under the ordinal scale. While for the interval scale, kato na siya, ang zero is not the absolute beginning. You can have any value nga negative or beyond zero, or pwede po wala na exist ang zero sa yang choices, so that is interval scale. Examples are the scores on a test, standardized test like psychological test, IQ test, depression test, and other scores that do not have true zero value. And finally, for the ratio, tama itong i-mention kanina, time, age, the size of the objects, the percent, even proportion in the number of persons or objects when you are counting, that is part of the ratio scale. Kay pwede naman ka maghatag og value from 0 pataas. So I hope that is clear with you. I will entertain questions before we start our short check-up. Kamu na bahala i-check sa inyong answer and then inyohan nang i-regulate inyong kaugalingon. Kasabot ba mo or wala? Okay, this will be part of our examination. So since wala may nag-raise of hand si Alburo o si Kilantang na may pangutana. Oh, nawala na. So let's start our short check-up ni siya. This is a formative assessment. Just to check kung nakasabot ba jud mo. If you have a paper and pen with you, mas gwapo isulat niyo yung answer. Then i-count na to later kung pila inyo nakuha ang score. 10 ni siya kabuok. And then the passing score for 10 for our grading system is 7. So you must get at least 7 para masulti nimo nga nakasabot jud ko sa lesson. Ready na ba ang tanan? You have 4 choices. Sa ito mga 4 choices sa answer gani? You have to identify if it is nominal, ordinal,
interval,
Ratio.
Basta klaro ha, i-review na ito natong upat.
Nominal, interval, ratio.
Number 1. The religious group, isulatan ninyo yung answer sa inyong papel. Ayaw sa i-sulti. Kay i-check man na ito karon. The religious group that one affiliates with. Sa inyong relihiyon. Number 2. The number of animals in the farm. Is it nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio? Number 3. Number 3 is the favorite brand of chocolate. What is that? Number 4. Naka-follow ba mo or paspas ra?
Sir, nabi, unsaon man ning one sir walay kaning papel or ballpen?
Sir.
Ang mga walay papel o ballpen, mag-discard na lang siguro mo diha, no?
Uwa ni mama sir.
Sir, pwede makibalik sa number 1, sir?
Oh, sir,
Sir,
number
so
1.
one balik sir.
Ang number 1, kinahuman na ba Ano to number one? Religious affiliation. Hindi pwede ibalik ni siya muhang ang atuang ano. Okay? Again, ang number one is religious
Ang number 2, sir.
affiliation. Ang number two kay kuan. Ito number two na remember niyo ang number two?
Katong sa farmers ay tama
Animals
rin, sir,
po.
no?
Animals po.
Number of
Animal.
animals. Number of animals. Number three kay favorite brand of chocolate. Number four, calendar years. Ipambalik to ato ang examples ganina. Recall ba to ninyo? So calendar years, is it nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio? Number five, the degree of pain if you have a toothache. Number six, the rank order based on IQ in a sample. So what is your rank in your IQ? No, ano ba ka kanang average, above average, genius, gifted? Number seven, the level of anger shown by the witness of an incident. Unsa ang level sa iyahang kalagot nakit-an to niya nga nahitabo. That's number seven. Number eight, the area of each participant's house or apartment. Ang area sa balay or sa apartment. Number nine, the score in the Beck Depression Inventory. This is another psychological test. The score in the test in the inventory. And number 10, the number of pounds lost during a 6-week diet. Do you have the answers now? Ready na ba ang tanan para sa ato ang checking?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
You have to be honest ha, kung nakuha ba ninyo or wala. Kay para maghapon na sa inyong kaugalingon.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Butaan, tama ba ni?
Number 1, here are the answers. The religious group is nominal.
Nominal, sir. Tama, sir.
Tama,
Because
sir.
Tama, sir. Tama.
possible answers.
Tama, sir. Tama, sir. Tama, sir.
Islam,
Mali ko, sir. Mali ko, mali.
Catholic,
Mali ko, sir.
Protestant, so on. So nominal. Again, nominal is categories, description. These are not numbers. How about the number of animals in the farm? Ratio.
Ratio.
Okay, dili
Tama,
mga
sir.
baba sa zero, ani. So I hope everyone got the correct answer kasi yun lang ni number 2. Number 3. How about number 3? Nominal. Tama.
Minal po, opo. Dagan mag-brand sa chocolate.
Very good. Number 4, calendar years. Again, we can go beyond 1. We can still have BC interval. Okay, mute daw katong naay murag sapang. Okay, thank you. Number 4, number 5, the degree of pain. Again, ano po kay degree, ang keywords, ano yung mga degree, level, or rank, ordinal. Tama?
Yes. Tama.
Tama, sir. Tama, tama, sir.
Gamay rin nakatama dali kay gamay rin naningog.
Tama,
How about
ordinal.
Tama, sir. Tama, tama, tama.
the rank order
Tama,
based on the IQ?
Tama ko, sir.
Ordinal. Ano may order o ano yung word ng order? So that's ordinal. Number 7, level. Ano po yung word ng level of anger? That's still ordinal. Number 8, the area of the house.
Tama,
You cannot
sir.
go
Ratio.
beyond 0. Wala
Tama, sir. Tama.
We have ratio.
Tama, sir.
Number 9, the score in the Beck Depression
Tama, sir.
Inventory. We have interval because
Tama, sir.
0 does not exist in the score. Wala 0 nga score. Number 10, the number of pounds lost.
Cancer dala, sir.
Ratio. Kay pwede man ka pataas sa 0. Hindi man ka pwede mababa sa 0. So, out of 10, what is your score? 7 is the
5.
7, sir.
7.
7.
Four, sir. 8.
It means that
5.
you have understood the
Or
lesson.
Jud.
Katong nagamay lang ang kulang ng 6. It's okay. Anyway, this is not recorded. This is not included in the computation. of
9
your
po,
grade. This is
9.
just a short check-up lang siya, known as the formative
9.
assessment, just to know kung nasabot ba mo or wala. So you can review again this material. Kaya ako na siya i-upload sa Quipper by tomorrow.
Opo.
And then, we will have the next kamuna siya mga reminders. On Friday, we will have the quiz about appreciation of numbers. So, balikan to ninyo review ang number system. Kato gani ato ang example ganina nga true or false. Inato ang ihatag sa quiz and classification kung unsa siya nga scale. Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. That will be your quiz and this time recorded ni siya. This can affect your grade. Part ni siya sa katong 60% participation, 40% participation. The online class will be on Friday, the next online class. And it's a good news. Holiday on Monday. So kung holiday, we also have to respect the holiday. O di po ta mag-meet ana. Pagka September 1, Wednesday, we will have the review for the first examination. Continuation also sa lesson nato sa lesson 3 sa August 27. And by Friday, September 3, we'll have our first examination. And take note, this is our schedule for our subject lang. Basig inyuhan ning apilon sa uban yung subject ha. Para
Dili sir, dili
class
sir.
for GE4 lang. I think mag-exam naman siguro ang uban sa uban sugod jud on time. With the other subjects, I don't know. I cannot speak for them. But kani siya nga schedule akong gihatag is for our subject GE4. Nasabtan ba?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
sir, yes sir.
Yes, sir, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So nasabtan pud ba ang atong lesson karon?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sabta Mayo.
Very good. So I will now stop recording. Then I will entertain mga